Prepare to languish between the obtuse and poetic. A journey with such gravitas that your life will either be saved or destroyed. Welcome to John Rambo Presents the Show. Stay ballsy. Don't take any shit from anyone.
Do you hear any whistling right now?
No, I don't hear any whistling right now.
But you did hear some whistling recently.
Yes, I heard whistling recently.
What was going on? Tell the good people at home what was happening.
I was at my parents' house, and I know in the past John used to pull shenanigans whenever he drove past my parents' house, so I thought he might be whistling at their house because he knew I was there.
A rogue whistler.
Yes, a rogue whistler.
So there was someone just creepily whistling? It was like a tune to it? Andy Griffith?
No, it was just plain old boring whistling.
Whistling Dixie? And just assume it's me. A psychopath that I am. That's what
not
how
a psychopath.
You think of me.
I don't think of you as a psychopath. I think of you as somebody who would go past my house and my parents' house and whistle at it.
A person with a lot of free time on their hands.
No, you don't have any of that. You're one of the most busy people I know.
But OG gives me no context. I'm not even around. I'm not even near the home. I didn't even know you were at your parents' house in the first place.
Well, if you'd driven by, you'd have seen my car.
And I just get a text. Is that you whistling? Is all he writes. And I don't know what to think of this.
Well, you do like to play jokes on me.
I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. I mean, I guess maybe it's an achievement on my part. People just hear random sounds and disturbing noises, and that's him. They just assume. They don't even question it. They just assume it's me.
Hey, I questioned it. That was the whole reason you found out and got mad. It was because I questioned it.
Who said I never accomplished anything in life? Okay? There we go. But who exactly was this? I mean, it's a very strange thing to be doing. And
apparently
it wasn't me.
Apparently it was my parents' neighbor.
What were they doing?
Dude just walks around whistling all the time. Like, that's his deal.
Well, when I find out who this guy is, I'm going to whistle outside his home. Whistle wars begin.
Oh, gosh. I'm just... The last whistle is just the sound of a bomb being dropped from,
We'll make the news. Be a whole thing. There'll be a movie about it.
The Whistle Wars.
I think if you hear someone whistling outside your home, this goes for all the viewers, you better hope it's me. I'm harmless, and I'm just doing it for fun. Maybe a little light trolling of you. If it's not me, you're in some deep stuff. Because there's some maniac that's not me whistling outside your home. You don't want that.
I mean, it's a maniac that is you whistling outside their home. Is that markedly better?
It's perfectly fine if it's me. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, the production value on this program has certainly dropped a smidge since the last episode.
You think they'll notice?
Hey, they all can't be number 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll notice. It's basically the same thing. Except OJ has no pants on right now, and previously he was wearing a suit that kind of fit him.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for pointing that out, actually.
Well, But we had a very successful show, 200. Did you have a good time?
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun, aside from the aforementioned ill-fitting suit. It was so much fun.
OGL would go to great lengths for me, dressed in uncomfortable outfits. It's a wonderful man. But we received many great messages from people after that show. It was a really good time, man. Did you guys enjoy the intro? Did you understand the intro? We had a big conversation before today's show because I made something that I showed OJ. I didn't quite get what I was going for.
To be fair, I am not 100% conscious right now.
That was making me laugh more than anything. But did you get the intro of the show from last episode? For a year and a half, John, I showed a different room of a home, right? Where something bizarre was going on.
Something unexplainable.
Exactly. For a year and a half, I had this planned out. So every every show would show a different room of the home, and then all culminated in show 200 with this ballsy house thing. Did we pick up on that? Was it good at all?
I thought so. I wish you could take like a tour through the place. I want to see what it's like in that home. And then I realized there's eyes in the sink drain, and a good portion of the house is on fire. And I realized I don't want to take a tour. This place is terrifying.
So yeah, set that up, man. Hopefully some people liked it. I don't know, maybe it wasn't a great idea to begin with, but it was good. I
thought it was. It was good. It was a lot of fun. I was looking forward to what room you do next.
Yeah. I think people just kind of lost interest halfway through. I think it's like the whistling thing, similar. Oh, it's just the crazy man whistling. No need to really put much thought into it beyond that. He's showing rooms of a house. Okay. Let's just move on. I guess what happens. But I think OJ understood it a little bit.
Well, it also, yeah. I understood what was happening.
Okay, good.
I don't always, though. I'm a slow person.
All right. So what makes me laugh the hardest about the show 200 is we did this big show, and we kind of like brought some viewers back that maybe kind of lapsed on us. Maybe obtained some new viewers, some first-timers. And then people are kind of like jazzed about the show. Look what these guys are doing. This is great. And then we decide to disappear for several months.
The word is hiatus or break or rest.
Yeah, we wouldn't tell anyone about that. We just disappeared.
You just did it. Okay, fair.
Which I think in a way is a comedy on its own right there. That's how we do it here. And, but we apologize and thanks for sticking with us in our eccentric ways here. We're back. Right?
Yeah.
Is this recording?
No, it's not recording.
We're not 100% sure, actually. I'm a little nervous.
We'll be fine.
But I think we're back, and we're going to get you caught up with our whereabouts, where we've been for the last little while, man. Right?
Yeah, give people the updates.
Are you excited about today's program? You're very tired. You've had a very strenuous couple of months at work. What's going on? Is everything all right?
Yeah, we have a big project to finish by the end of the quarter, which ends at the end of August.
What happens if you can't finish it?
I'm hoping it doesn't mean I don't get to go on vacation.
Who gets in trouble?
Me and the other guys and the other guys who manage folks.
Why are you doing this show and not working on this project? Your livelihood is on the line here. Because
if I work that many hours, I will collapse into a puddle of dead.
So do you have can you go basically overtime now? Can you work as much as you have to?
Yeah, but we're salaried, so we don't. Yeah, but we don't get overtime, so.
Okay.
And we've still got time.
Scam,
huh? Yeah.
Are you on track? You're building the Death Star, basically, here.
We're doing all right. We're just hoping to avoid that thermal exhaust port issue I've heard so much about.
Lord Vader's going to come in and force choke you. Does he do that is he in the Han Solo movie? Did you see it?
I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it either, obviously. All right. Well, let's
people
continue.
Keep saying not to tell me anything about movie reviews. Keep insisting on telling me how Han Solo is. I'm like, I don't want to know. I'll make up my own mind.
This is a man that loves Han Solo. He wants to know the information. So we got a couple things to talk about. So if you're in the Indianapolis area, the great Mr. Ed Schroeder will be appearing at the Indie Pop Con.
Oh ho!
It's on June 8th through the 10th. Was it next week?
Week after?
Okay, week after. June 8th.
Wait, next week.
It's irrelevant because people don't know the context of when we're recording, so it doesn't matter.
That's a good point. So it's the first. It's the end. The second Friday in June. How about that?
All right. So think about this: if you're in Indianapolis, when would you ever have a chance to meet Mr. Ed Schroeder? Right?
If you're not,
this is your chance now.
Yeah.
This is like meeting the Pope or something.
The ballsy Pope?
What do you think he'll say to you if you a gentleman off the street? He'll give you some wisdom, point you in the right direction. I highly recommend you check it out. I was on the website for this thing earlier today.
Yeah.
To get these dates proper. And what they wrote about Ed, they said it's his interactive convention debut. which I thought was just kind of a strange way of putting it. An interactive convention debut. He had some inactive convention debuts in the past.
Like how? Like what? A non-interactive convention? Does he just stand there and you look at him and he looks at you and that's the extent of it?
That's what I want to go to. But we'll have to settle for this interactive convention debut. But this is a big deal, man. Look, these are some of the people that are going to be at this thing. Hodor will be there.
Oh.
Do you think it's annoying to be Hodor? What do you think people say to him? They just keep saying Hodor to him. This is a man who went to some sort of school. He has a religion of some sort he believes in, maybe. Right? I mean, this is a human.
And instead, all they do is call him Hodor.
He's the human version of Groot.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
If Groot doesn't exist, you can't just bother him. But this is an actual human being that has to deal with this. Speaking of Groot, the other person that will be there is Mantis.
Oh, really?
She's a real person of the name, but I just call her Mantis now. She's Mantis. Go up to her and say Hodor a few times.
Don't.
All right, OJ says no. But yeah, check that out. That'd be a good time. I would certainly go. It's a little far for me, though.
Yeah, Indianapolis is a bit of a trek.
Have you been to conventions in that area?
I've been to one convention in Indianapolis.
Was it okay? Do you have any? Did you tell her not to go there?
No, it was great. I mean, that was the convention. One of the times when I was at a convention and had a horrifying food poisoning. But the food poisoning was before I got to Indianapolis.
All right. Why does every show goes into some sort of a diarrhea thing with you that we have to pull away from?
Anyway, Indianapolis is great.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Okay. So OJ and I have been up to several adventures here. First thing we have to announce, my friends, very excited. Extremely excited, actually. We have a new short film coming soon. They're gonna put it out in about 2 weeks from today. Again, you have no context of when we're recording this. So I'm thinking, what's 2 weeks, John? What do you think? June the 14th? What do you think? Is that a good date for you?
June 14th. That happens to be a Thursday.
Is that like a holiday or something? Is it something we should shy away from?
It's the day after my uncle's retirement party.
Would he be offended? Are we stealing his spotlight with this?
I don't think so.
Let's call him up on the show and ask him about this. So I think that's the day. That feels good to me.
All right, that sounds good.
Our new short film is entitled A Participant, a Short Film. That is the full title. And we're not really going to tell you anything else about it.
Because that's the sort of peoples we are.
I will just ask you to please check it out. You know. On my hands and knees, please check it out. Begging you. We'll present it ad-free. And it's made with a lot of love, man. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know. Is there anything you want to say?
I had a lot of fun making it.
Whoa! That's a lot of information.
It drove me crazy.
Though. That's a lot of information you're giving out.
What the?
Now we know you're. Forget it. I will say this. We got we did get some new equipment for this one. Nothing too crazy. Not camera. We didn't get any cameras or anything like that. I think that's going to happen eventually. That's the next thing we got to do. But we got some new gear. We'll talk a lot about this on the next show after it's out. We'll do the deep dive that no one wants into this. We got all this new equipment. This was a few months ago. And we had it all sent to OJ's house. We had a lot of shipping issues.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, but we got the stuff. Anyway. So I go to OJ's place one Sunday afternoon. We got all these boxes that are unopened. And we just have like a really nice afternoon of just ripping packages open and setting up this equipment that we never had our hands on before, and then going through, putting it through its paces a little bit, seeing what it can do, the possibilities. And we're feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember mostly the cardboard sticks in my mind. That and then the delivery just getting all wonked out.
Yeah, we had a big mess. So anyway, we're feeling really good about like, oh, this is great, all this great stuff that we never had. This is awesome. So they were like, all right, let's go grab some food. So we get in the car and OJ's driving. Literally, on OJ's street, like a couple houses down from his home, there's a guy filming something on the sidewalk with equipment that's like amazing. It looks like it's like the Optimus. It looked like the Optimus Prime. He was covered in gear. He had like a steady can that was like attached to him. He had like lighting and I don't know what was happening. He had like a monitor that was like separate that was also attached to his body. He was a RoboCop of
like, and there were a bunch of people. Like you could tell there were like production assistants or whatever.
Yeah. This is on the same street. It's not even like we went around the corner. I mean, there's a few houses.
Yeah, we hadn't made it to the corner yet.
And we're like, oh, you guys think you're so cool. You are, and then we're just like, oh, our stuff is garbage compared to this man, whoever this man is.
It's like every time we're like, yeah, you know what? We just leveled up, and it's like, oh, are you level 100 yet?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But we just tried to block it out of our minds.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was funny. It didn't make me too sad, though.
It's just very ironic, though. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, can't. Like day one with the new equipment and okay.
What do you think he was doing? What was he making with this stuff?
I have no idea. What do you even film in this city anyway?
We did quite a bit of it.
Yeah, but we're like guerrilla videographers or whatever.
We're illegal criminals. Yes. Anyway, yeah, man. 2 weeks. Please check out A Participant. I don't know. I don't want to say anything else. I'm just gonna get me into like a whole thing. So we'll talk about it when we get back the next show.
Yeah, hold on a little bit longer, guys. It's almost ready.
And that was the main culprit for why we weren't around, I would say.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's only so much.
Don't hold it against it. It's not its fault. Okay.
It didn't do this to us. We did this to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, we had a really bad storm around my area a few weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
It was nuts, man. I want to kind of give you my perspective on this. So this was a few weeks ago, and go to work, and all day people are just talking about there's a storm. Like it was just kind of like in the morning it seemed like it was like a normal storm, and then like around the afternoon people would start talking about like, oh, there's like a big storm coming. And people just kind of kept saying no one was really sure what was going on.
Yeah, and
I was a big storm around like 5:00. And I've seen hundreds of storms in my days, John. I've seen things.
I've seen hurricanes, or a hurricane at least.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. Stuff like that, okay? So I was like, all right, no big deal. It's around like 5:00, so that's when I leave. And then I'll probably be home, 15 minutes later. That's usually my commute is. And then it'll be raining while I'm driving, but it'll be fine. I'll be pretty close and whatever. Right?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So we get to around 5:00 now, where I work, in my work area, my workstation. I had a window, and the window overlooks a coffee shop below us. And the coffee shop has like, chairs and tables outside.
Yeah, yeah, it has present tense.
And there's like umbrellas for people to sit. So if it's like really bright sun or something, you have some shade. So I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I look out the window, and one of the umbrellas is like at the window.
What, like knocking on it? Like, hello?
Yeah, it got lifted like out of a table and pulled up into like it flew up over the roof. So I literally saw it fly by.
Like in it was like an invisible Mary Poppins.
Exactly, yes. And I'm like, all right, this is getting a little interesting. So when it's time to leave, it's just a weird vibe in the air, and it's just in general, there's just kind of like stuff floating around. like just plants and like dirt and like flowers and paper bags and like just weird stuff like just floating in the atmosphere.
Like you're used to seeing, you know, like a plastic bag floating around every once in a while, but not like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't really blowing. It was just like, it was like literally like float. There's just a weird floating thing going on. The sky's just a disgusting color. A soupy type of greenish color.
That's when you know things are about to get real.
Yeah. It was, it wasn't looking too good. So, you know, I pull out of there, make a left, get to this traffic light, and, I almost like got the green, but just turned red. There's a couple cars in front of me, and I just got kind of annoyed because it was like one of those situations where it's green and people are not doing what they're supposed to do. It causes you to get stuck behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
So I'm at this red light, and then waiting. It seems like it's taking forever, and I feel like something's coming. All of a sudden, the sky just explodes. You can't see anything for like a good minute. Like you just see nothing. When the insane like hail and rain kind of stops for a second, or kind of like lets up, I noticed that the traffic light had gone from red to just black, meaning it was completely turned off.
That's not the color this is supposed to be.
So it's like, yeah, red, yellow, green. What is black? I never learned about black before. I don't know. And at the same time this happens, like all the traffic lights went out. I get a warning on the phone, which says tornado warning.
A little late there, phone, huh?
It came like, yeah, that's true, yeah. It came like, you got the warning like when it hit. I've never seen this before. I've never been involved in something like that. Never really wanted to. A tornado. Okay?
A tomater?
Tornado. Tomato is something that like Arby's might have, maybe.
Ugh.
So then I'm like at this light, and you can't, you know, pour. So it's basically pouring. There's no street lights, and it's rush hour.
What could go wrong?
Combination. So I got to make a left. So I somehow pull it off without getting in an accident. There's people just driving all over the place, craziness. There's basically two paths I could take to get to the highway.
Mm-hmm.
So I go down the one path. There's a tree down.
Nope.
And like I said, like this is maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes after I left. So when I first left work, it wasn't even raining yet. It was just stuff floating around. It was kind of windy.
Yeah.
Within 10 minutes, all the power's out, and there's multiple trees down all over the place.
See, that's the scariest thing. It's not that the power went out, it's that the power went out that quickly.
Yeah. It was just like, it was a very quick thing. There's a tornado, and it just boom, ran through.
It went from, yeah.
It does what it does, and it says goodbye, you know?
Yeah, a friend of mine saw like a vortex barely form near their house. It didn't go full tornado, but they saw enough of it to be like, that's not good.
Don't want it. We don't need it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I've seen trees down in the past, but usually, you know, I didn't get to it so early. You know what I mean? So usually the cops have been there, or they put up like, you know, like some tape or something. But this is like freshly taken down. So, like I said, it's rush hour. So you have a line of cars all going in one direction. A tree goes down. And then everyone has to kind of like turn around at once. And there's also people behind you. And it's like, you know, it's just really difficult to do.
Yeah, you end up kind of stuck because the guys in the back don't know why the guys in the front are coming back.
And they're just mad. Like, why aren't you driving?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Honk, honk. The road goes that way. What? Are you stupid?
Yeah, so one way was blocked with a tree. Then I got to turn around. Then the other way is blocked with a tree as well. There's also branches, stuff all over the road, like just brush, you know? Just green stuff all over the roads.
Yeah.
So I can't get northbound. There's no way I could do it. But I know some tricks. You know, I've lived here a long time. I know some things, or I think I do, right? So there's like this old-timers community, which you can kind of cut through to go another way.
Oh, you didn't.
So I started going through there. It was really annoying about this is you would get so far, like to the end of like the road, and then there would be like a tree. This happened to me multiple times.
It's like a maze, dude.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like early on. So you drive over branches and all kinds of junk for like a long period of time, and then you get to a spot towards the end where you have to turn or something, or like you're almost there, and then you couldn't go at all. So that was really annoying.
You'd have to turn
around. Then you have to turn around. So that's what happened in the old timer's place. So yeah, I mean, I never experienced anything like that. So I'm like, okay, it's pretty bad. I can't see anything. I can't get out of here. So I'm going to go back to work. So I get there. It's maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes since I left. Get back there. The power's out. Power's out there. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit in there off the clock in the dark. I'd rather be risking my life driving around, trying to get back.
That'd be a little less tedious.
I guess. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, I can't go northbound at all, so I decided to go south, right? I just keep driving and driving. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of basically, I'm going the wrong direction. To try to figure out a way that I can somehow turn around and find a way to go north from the south direction. If that makes any sense.
North from the south direction. Okay, so to go south enough that you can go east or west to head north.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm just freaking going and driving. I should also mention I have no gas at all at this point because I had no idea this was coming.
Oh.
And I was on empty. It was a bad situation. So I decided to get off. I decided to turn on this road, and I get off somewhere, and I find this bizarre shopping center, which I will return to someday. And I know why, my friends. It had power. Okay, there's power in this place. I saw lights, so I just kind of followed the lights, right?
Sure. Because
I had no gas, and I'm driving for like an hour, and it's 6 o'clock, and I'm hungry and stuff. So I find a shopping center that has a deli. It has a dentist. In between the deli and the dentist, my friends, a strip club.
For that day, we need to get 3 things taken care of.
So somewhere on the earth, there's a strip club with a deli and a dentist office attached to it.
What sort of market are they serving?
Whatever small little town this is. That's their main shopping center.
Oh, that is a sad thought.
So they had power in this place, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go into this deli. And I go in there, and there's a guy in there, and then there's like a cold cut counter. So I go, hey, do you guys have any food here? It's kind of a dumb question. I'm like, do you have any food? So the guy just kind of points at the cold cut thing. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm like, okay, do you guys like make sandwiches? Because that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
Do you have food I can have now? You know what I mean? And he just goes, no, we don't make sandwiches.
But he's got a cold cut machine.
I guess you could buy the bread and the pieces and make it yourself. I don't know. So I'm like, well, no. I mean, like, do you have any prepared food? Like, it's like food I can just eat now. So the guy looks at me and he goes, all we have is fried ravioli.
Hey,
of all things,
fried ravioli is pretty good, actually.
Of all the things you could have, that's all we have. So like, all right, yeah, give me some of that, sir. And by the way, is there a gas station around here? Guy tells me no. So then I'm like, all right, I got this thing of fried ravioli. What do I do with this? I can't just I don't want to sit in here with this guy and eat this. So I go into the car, but it's really freaking hot. Like, it's actually like super hot out.
Yeah.
It was part of what causes this or something. I don't know, something with the atmosphere, the temperature.
Sudden temperature changes, right?
Who would have known? So I'm in the car, but it's like super hot. I'm trying to eat this fried ravioli. So I'm like, I'm gonna open the back windows, just leave them open. I don't care. The car's a piece of junk. The driver's side door doesn't lock. The passenger side door doesn't open at all. You know what? I don't care. So I got these windows. I'm sitting there eating fried ravioli with my hands, with 2 back windows open, with rain pouring in and hail and stuff. And there's like these, like some of the ladies are like outside. There's like an awning type thing. And people are just there's like a few people just looking at like what's going on around, like, looking out and seeing what's going on with the rain and the wind and everything. And here I am, like, no one's in the parking lot with me, eating like an animal with the windows up. And there's this guy at me like, I'm insane, and please don't come in here. We don't want your dollar bills. Don't come in. We hope he doesn't come in.
Aw, that's sad.
So then I look at the phone, like, I need this gas. I'm trying to figure this is survival at this point. So I got to find a gas station. So I look at the phone. I do have a little bit of a signal. I found out there's a gas station across the street.
Directly across the street from the guy who's like, there's no gas here.
Basically, yeah. And I think they had more food than fried ravioli. I don't know.
I think that place is a front, man.
Something's going on there.
It's next to a strip club and a dentist. I mean, the dentist is probably one of those. Now talk, Jimmy, or I'm going to take your other molar.
Oh,
that's what
shit.
A place is.
It's a little shop of horrors dentist?
Yeah, man.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, the dentist basically is also a front for the mob.
Do you know the song from the movie? The dentist?
I remember it vaguely. Like, if you want to something, be a dentist. And those somethings are all like really not nice things.
So I go to this gas station. It's like a no-name gas station. There's no sign or anything. I don't know where this was. We're gonna go back here. We'll do a show from this parking lot.
If we survive.
But I'm talking about an awning, right? I mentioned an awning before. There's no cover to this thing. It's just like there's no roof. There's just 2 gas pumps just hanging out. So I got out of the car and just getting blown away with wind and stuff and rain. And I'm like, put my card in and hitting the buttons, just getting soaked. And there's a guy, there's 2 guys actually inside the gas station just looking out the window staring at me.
Well, they're in a gas station in the middle of nowhere next to a strip club, a dentist, and a deli that doesn't have food.
Those are entertaining.
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. So that was it. I got my gas, and I was able to get to the Sawmill North. Goes back to 684. But basically, like I said, it was a tornado at rush hour, and all the local roads, as I mentioned, are destroyed. So everyone's on the highway.
Yeah.
You just sit there for forever. Took me over 2 hours to get home. It's usually 15 minutes.
Ugh.
Had I left work 10 minutes earlier, I think I would have been home within 15 minutes, most likely.
I don't doubt it.
It just was like the worst possible timing, man. It was really bad. Worst driving conditions I've ever experienced. They actually put out a report there was more damage to my specific area during this than Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, dang.
And what's weird about this is usually all these storms we get, it's like a huge area, right? It's like New York, lower half of New York State or something, right? Or the tri-state area is affected.
Like to the whole big thing.
Yeah, this was basically a few towns.
Yeah, because
it was like part of a county, basically. It was bad though, man. There were people that died. There was, people didn't have power for a week. I didn't have power for 4 nights. A guy I worked with got in a bad accident. A lot of stories of people that they had to leave. They basically was trees down. They basically had to abandon their cars and walk home miles, or they wouldn't be able to get home.
So, funny story.
Yes,
you had to get home.
Yes,
that you basically had to do that. My friend and I, basically, where we were, there was nothing. It wasn't bad at all. But you see, we had D&D that night.
Jesus.
And my friend has a truck. Well, he calls it a truck. It's a Jeep. And he's like, no, we got this. We're good. Because we always play at our friend's place in Somers.
Yeah.
And since our friends in Somers have a kid, they can't really leave. So we're like, okay, I guess we'll come see you. Oh, it's my friend's turn to pay for dinner. So we call up. We're driving. And we notice things are a little bad. It's not terrible. The rain's not coming down in sheets. At least not right now. It's maybe about 5:45, 6 o'clock. So the worst is probably over.
Yeah, the worst was a half hour of it.
Yeah. But, so it's normally a 45-minute to an hour drive. So we start off, we call a pizza place in the area and we say, hey, can we order pizza? They're like, yeah, you can order pizza. Can you deliver? No. We're like, okay, can we pick it up? Yeah. We call them, we order the pizza. And they're like, and then they're like, okay, you can pick it up. We're like, all right. So we're driving and we start noticing there's trees down, branches. It starts small, little branches that here and there. Then we notice these houses seem kind of dark. And then we see off on the side of the road by some road cones, a tree that had clearly just been dragged off.
Yeah, I think they had a state of emergency in that town.
They did.
And they closed school for 5 days.
Yeah.
They were destroyed.
Yeah, my friends, actually, they didn't have power when we got there. So we didn't play D&D. We just hung out and talked for like 4 hours, which is fine. But like we saw a tree that looked like it had been uprooted from a hill, pushed into the hill, and then the giant 5 to 6 foot trunk slid all the way down the hill into the road.
Yeah, there's a lot of homes that were declared uninhabitable. People have to leave their home, like trees fall on them and stuff, and they come in, they're like, you can't stay here anymore.
You don't have to go,
It was messed up. But basically the next day, I had no power, I mentioned that. So basically the next day I went to the mall, and it was like a refugee camp in there.
Did the mall have power?
Oh yeah, the mall always has power. That's always the place to go in these situations.
Were people actually camping in there?
Dude, there was people that brought power strips in, and anywhere they could find, power to plug stuff in, they would plug in like power strips and have like 10 devices in, and it would sit in like a circle. The whole family would sit there.
Oh,
the 3-year-old kid with a tablet, the parents with the phone, laptops.
Could you actually go shopping at that time?
Yeah, everything was open, yeah, but it was ugly in there, man. It was bad. One thing I did notice about people, I was walking around, and everyone's got these devices, man. Everyone's screen's broken, cracked screens, and like everything they have. People buy these devices, and they're like obsessed with them to the point where they have to get them charged, have charges at all times, and they break the screens.
There was, yeah.
But, yeah, it was a bad news, man.
Yeah, there was a really great stand-up comedian. I forgot the entirety of the joke, but the gist of it was, oh, you think you're ready for children? Okay, take out your iPhone. See those cracks? No, you're not. Like, dang. Okay.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm glad you made it through okay.
Make it through, man.
Because that could have gone very, very, very differently.
It was definitely interesting. So it was cathartic to talk about. I appreciate it. It's almost like give it meaning.
Well, I felt really bad because I didn't realize how badly you had it until
OJ's driving into a disaster zone.
Yeah, I had no. I
instead of keeping the roads clear for emergency vehicles, he's like, I will drive in.
No, I just felt bad because I didn't realize, like, oh, dang, wait, you're still without power? Yeah. And then I finally realized, like, the day before you got power back, you could stay here. I've got power and a couch, man.
Oh, like 4 days in, he's like, oh, you could stay here. No, it was fine, man. Well, like, my job had no power the next day. So it was kind of like a paid day off.
Nice.
Then they had power, and I didn't have power at home, so I would just stay there like 12 hours. Every day, basically. That was fine.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fine.
Sure.
We want some more pleasant things. Well, actually, this isn't really pleasant. I don't know. Kind of is, kind of isn't. I don't know. Some of it's pleasant, right? You've heard of high school reunions, my friends? I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
What other types of reunions are there? Maybe like veterans, like the 53rd Battalion will get together.
Yeah, like a unit.
A unit will get together. Has there ever been history of man a retail reunion?
I mean, maybe on some sitcom that was about a store.
Oh, because these are the kind of jobs people usually, people hate usually, and they almost want to forget they did it. They laugh about it. Oh, I worked at this place, right? Or they
it was so bad. Brr, brr, brr.
Or they try to kind of hide it. At a certain point, it's not even on your resume anymore, right? Like, is this still on your... This doesn't go on your resume anymore, I would assume, right?
No, not anymore, no.
Right.
Oh, dang.
So there you go, man. It's 15 years. Actually, it's 14 years, but we kept saying 15. We'll say 15 for the sake of making a nice, good-sounding number.
Yeah, a nice, like, blocky number.
So it's been 15 years since we worked for the evil giraffe at Toys R Us. And we've learned, recently, a lot of people send me messages, actually, about this. Toys R Us is shutting down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a strange situation. I've read a lot of things about it. It seems like they are actually profitable, but and there's people that have offered large sums of money to purchase the company. But it appears that the owners, the company that owns it, will make more profit by closing than to sell it.
That's garbage. So all those people lose their jobs.
And many people lose their jobs because they basically are throwing all their debt, this company's debt, gets thrown into the company and then into Toys R Us division, and then they get to kind of shut it out. Strange little weird politics.
That's awful. So, oh man.
Welcome to America.
You were talking about that, and I didn't understand what the meaning of that was. I thought
I'm giving a very probably incorrect summation of it, but it's kind of you should definitely do your research on it if you're interested. But it's kind of what's going on.
But all those people's jobs, man.
Right. A lot of people ask me how I feel about Toys R Us closing. When was the last time you spent money there? I couldn't tell you when I did it.
If it hadn't been closing, it would have been years and years ago.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of thing where no one was really going there, but people like having options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even people are just kind of that way. Even if they're never going to use something, if you're I'm going to break this, you've never used it, I'm going to throw it away. People just want to know it's there, maybe, or it's part of it's something they used to love, maybe, and now don't take it away from me, even though I'm never going to use it.
I hate to tell you, but that's how I feel about newspapers.
Oh.
I love them. I love that they exist.
Shots fired from the OG.
I don't read them. No, I think they serve a valuable purpose in society, and I'm glad that we have them, but I don't read them.
If someone was like, no more newspapers, you'd be very upset.
Yeah, I would be. I would be very upset.
You'd go crazy.
I would go crazy.
And, there's that part of it, and then there's also, people act like Toys R Us is this mom and pop store from their childhood or something, but they're really no difference than Target or Walmart or any of these other places. I mean, they just weren't run as well. I mean, that's basically all it was, man. And the circle of life, they put many people out of business, Toys R Us.
Mom and pop stores.
They destroyed many, stores and put people out of work and blah, blah, blah. And now this happens to them, much like Blockbuster, much like, any of these types of things. GameStop will be next. All got business. But, so there's all that kind of corporate side of it, which I can understand and, I'm fine with that. But the place itself has a deeper meaning to me. A lot of people like what they would consider to be their glory days would be like their high school time or college or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds the same. That was my era that I look back with the most fondness. I was there for 4 years, so it kind of works out. And it's a place where I really kind of found myself there. And it means quite a bit to me, that specific store.
Yeah.
And other people I talked to, and we had Mr. Dan Leapins on the show a couple months ago, many months ago.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But everyone I talked to, people I run into, and I actually ran into the old the guy who used to run the store. I ran into him working at another store because what's going on with retail now is it's like an island. It's shrinking, the retail world, and everyone's kind of jumping to that analogy doesn't really work. Maybe it's it's a series of islands.
Yeah, it's icebergs, ice cap.
Yeah, and they're jumping to the one middle one or whatever's left. So I saw the dude, and I was talking to him, and I haven't seen that guy in over a decade. And even this guy was the main boss. He even told me that, oh yeah, Toys R Us, that was my favorite job. Aww. That was a great group. Everyone that was there has great feelings about what was going on there. So there you go. It means a lot to me. So now we found out it's closing. It's been 14, 15 years. I decide to organize the boys. Let's bring the band back together for one last day.
Woo!
So we got everyone together. This was last week. We had Kevin, who was on the show. We did the Toys R Us episode. He was with us.
Yep.
See, folks know him. We had Mikey. He was our supervisor.
Yeah.
We referred to him as Mikey the Vampire on that program. If you listen to that show. And when was the last time you saw him?
Oh gosh, I think it was like a New Year's or 4th of July party.
How many years ago was this? Probably 15 years ago.
2004? 2005?
Yeah. And of course OJ was there. So it was like our core group. Sadly, we couldn't get everyone. I mean, there were people trying to get like big things going, and it all kind of fell apart. The storm kind of messed it up, unfortunately. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
We kind of decided let's get something done here before the store's gone forever. So it was the four of us, man. If Dan was there, Leapins was there, it would have been great, but obviously different
that would have been classic.
So we all met in the parking lot. What was interesting to me is the way we arrived. You, Kevin, and I all got there first. We all beat the boss, the former boss. And the three of us who were always, maybe not you. But I was certainly always late back then, going to that store. I didn't think it was possible to get there on time. We had like a certain time to meet. I didn't think I could get there at a certain time. It was, I used to get there, 35 minutes late. I'd walk in eating a cheeseburger with my shirt not even on.
You have to make your entrance.
With my uniform not even on. That's what I would do. Just walk in, But we all got there before the boss. Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, did you do this purposely? You guys were late and we were on time.
But the way he replied was so great. He's like, no. This is like, okay.
And then we all kind of fell back. Because if you notice, he was like leading us. The way we would like walk, he was like ahead. We were like following him. Because he was the boss. Like it all kind of like just naturally fell into place. But how did you feel meeting everyone? I mean, just being all together. You haven't seen this guy in 15 years. Did he look the same to you, or what? Would you?
Yes, say? He looked like exactly the same to me, which is a compliment, mind you.
Oh, absolutely.
But like, yeah, he looked exactly the same, and like, all I could think of was like how I thought he really was just annoyed by me when we worked together. So I thought he would deliberately schedule it so I wouldn't work with him. He said, "No, I didn't do that."
We got to ask all these questions from the past.
Like, really? Are you sure? Because we like worked 2 shifts together the entire time I was there.
So then we decided, okay, we got a little chit chat in the parking lot. We go into the store, and then the way we always enter the store when we were employees, you go through the exit door, so you like pull the doors open. So I decided to do this, and like I thought you guys would come with me.
No, we're just like F no.
And you're like,
we don't want to get in trouble.
So there's people in the store where you guys are working at the store, and all of a sudden I just pull the doors open, I walk through the exit, and everyone just looks at me like I'm the biggest idiot. And I was like, all right. And you guys came in the other side, so I'd run across the store to meet you.
Yeah, we came in through the entrance where we decided to start our magical journey.
And it was interesting to see Mikey because he worked there for 10 years. And he saw a lot of stuff there, okay? And the fruit, like, he just kind of looks around. I don't know when he was there last.
Yeah.
But he just looks around. He's like, everything's the same. And it's interesting for him because he set that store. Like, he built a lot of this stuff in there.
When they did the big remodeling?
Yeah, he basically built the store the way it is. And I saw like a little bit of emotion out of him. And, in the fact that the store is the same. Did you notice that too, or do you don't remember really what it was like?
No, I remember what it was like. I mean, the R zone was
slight
different.
Differences, yeah.
But like the area right next to it, where like the action figures were, so that was the same dang thing.
It was slightly different. So the R zone is where they have the games, and we used to work. They used to have like a cage around it.
Yep.
Like a security cage. So it was almost like we were like in our own separate little thing.
Which was great. We could pretend we were different from all the other employees. And when they had to do reshopping at the end of the night and load things up from the carts, we didn't have to do that.
You just hide in your little cage.
Yeah, they're like, why aren't you doing reshop? I'm like, I got this section to take care of. I'm sorry. Also, I work in the R zone. I don't know where anything goes out there.
Right. I only know about these games. I don't know about these plastic things.
The frozen Playmobil.
Yeah, I was making the joke that like, they got rid of us. They were able to open it up. They had to keep us caged in there.
Yeah.
But I think the store looked kind of bad. I felt kind of like, it was like kind of sad to see it. I think it was, kind of dirty. Obviously, if you're not changing the way something looks in like, over a decade plus, like that's not a good thing. You want to constantly kind of, update things.
Yeah. Instead, you're like, that used to be bright yellow.
Oh yeah, there's a shelving that was the shelf because he was like, oh, this is the sign holders. I used to put the signs in every week for the new games, same ones. Now they're just completely yellow and browning and like an SNES over time, right? It just turns yellow.
Yeah, but I don't know what's sadder though. Walking around and seeing like the empty spots in the inventory where they don't bother restocking, or seeing the ancient things they dug up from who knows when.
Yeah, they had stuff that we sold at the time, like Spider-Man 2 stuff from the movie, like the original movies. The Toby movies. They had stuff they must have found in a box. Just dragged them out.
Stuff's ancient.
Yeah, I don't know. So just checking it out, walking around. It felt good be with you guys again in there.
Yeah, it was an experience.
It's definitely strange, So we're just in there. We're talking a little bit, and the manager of the store comes over to us. I thought he was just a normal worker or something, seeing if he needed help. But he's actually like, "Oh, hey, this is my store or whatever." And he's like, "What are you guys doing? What's going on?" So we're like, "Oh yeah, we used to work here. We're just kind of meeting up and saying goodbye, whatever." He's like, "Oh, you used to work here? Do you want to work here now?" I did not expect this to happen.
No, me either.
I did not expect. So basically, the guy explains that once they found out they're closing, the entire staff quit because like people got to find new jobs and stuff. So you're not gonna, I guess they didn't. You're supposed to offer the employees something to stay, incentive. Obviously, they didn't do that. They didn't care enough. So I guess everyone left and got other jobs, and they need people to finish out. I think they're open another month or something till July.
Oh wow, yeah.
So he's like, "Do you guys want to work? You could work anytime." I think Kevin's like, "Well, I have my old shirt. Can I wear that? It's red." He's like, "Because now that we're blue, we become Democrats over time." He's like, "Wear whatever you want. Work whatever you want. We just, come back, come and work." So I'm thinking to myself, like, I would do it. Like, if all you guys, that's the reunion right there.
Oh, no.
That's the real reunion. Like, we all go back to work.
You gotta tell all the people who were also trying to organize it, like, hey, if you want to do one more day.
Yeah. Dude, imagine that.
Oh,
yeah, like
man.
a huge group, like everyone.
Be like, you guys don't know what you're doing. We know what we're doing.
Talk about nostalgia. People are like, "Oh, bring back Roseanne, and we'll have whatever." I mean, that's okay. That's not. This is nostalgia. This is real nostalgia.
Until the guy from the baby section gets fired for a racist tweet or something.
Yeah, it's a whole new world now. Now we have social media. Can they handle it? These old timers. That'd be true nostalgia right there. Forget this other crap people talk about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fuller House, please. But of course, like I would actually, dude. Honestly, maybe I'm insane again. Maybe I'm crazy. I would actually do it. Now, all three of you guys were like, "No way, it's not happening. There's no way we're doing it." I understand that. Of course,
I'm not going to go there for an hour commute to work at a Toys R Us.
We have to have some sense of adventure, though. It's such a, it's such a story.
I know, yeah, it would be kind of weird, like, going back, like,
how do you even explain
I've been gone for 17 years?
15 years.
From that place?
No, we're adding years to this?
Well, I worked there, they wouldn't take me back after my
16 for you.
Yeah. They were jerks about that. But yeah, like, it's been that long. It would be interesting to go back and, like, this was my first real job.
How do you even explain that to someone?
Like,
hey, I used to work there, and 15 years later, I went back for a week, and they closed.
Why? Did they close because you went back? Yes, I made sure.
Perhaps. I killed. But I think in a certain situation, I think I could get you guys to do it. If it was like a documentary.
Oh yeah, if we could film.
If there was a crew and they were like, I don't know, we told our stories about what happened in the past, and then you go back for the week.
Oh, man.
But at the same time, I was thinking about it. I mean, it's like that whole thing, like you can never go home again, right? It wouldn't be the same or something. I don't know.
No, I mean, we wouldn't be caged in. We'd have to do reshop.
Oh, I'd love to do that. But anyway, we had a great time. We kind of went through, talked about different stories, and one thing that I really love to see. It's been quite some time. All you guys are just the same. I mean, you guys are all the same, which is awesome, you know. And I don't know. I think if a situation where we all had to work there, I think it would just be like another, you know, stepping back in.
Yeah, it would be like not a day passed. It'd be like we just kind of roll back in like to what we were doing.
Yeah,
and it would just pick up where we left off.
But it made me feel really good to see you guys are doing good. Everyone's like the same personality, really.
No one's gone off the deep end and changed in a horrifying manner.
Exactly. So it was really great.
It was fun. I got to say, thanks for organizing that.
Do you have any overall thoughts, surprises, or feelings about it?
I wasn't sure, like, what it was going to be like in there. I mean, I'd been to a closing Toys R Us, but this was our Toys R Us, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is the place we went. I mean, it was strange because a lot of the stuff was the same. Some of it had changed a lot since when I worked there, but that was the minority by a lot. I mean, it was sad looking at like the soda machines and whatnot, and remembering those days. And the funny thing was, the store is just so beaten up. It's awful.
It's time to let it go, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. It's going to be some stupid bad store.
It's going to be nothing, man. It's Sports Authority down the street. That's just an empty building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's going to be nothing, basically.
I don't get it, man.
I have two articles that we could get into. One's a longer one, one's a shorter one. About Toys R Us, the history of Toys R Us. What's your pick?
I mean, what, do we only get to do one?
It's kind of redundant, I think, if you do both. I just pulled two different articles.
If we're talking about history, let's go with the longer one. We'll just skip the boring stuff.
All right, hold on a second here.
I made a decision that counted.
I don't know if this is a good article, though. Let me see here.
Then, if it's not a good article, use the shorter one.
All right, let's see here. All right. It was 1948. 1948. Wow. And Charles Lazarus. That's the guy who started the company.
Wait, Charles, you know what that means, right?
Yeah, he's going to come back from the dead. And
no, the store's going to come back from the dead. Jeffrey's going to be like,
this guy has to come back and save it. It's freaking Lazarus, man.
Wouldn't that be a movie?
Yeah. He's like, you guys are working here? Like, we used to work here 15 years ago. We're back.
You have raised me.
No, you're back forever. It was a trap. So it says, newly returned from World War II, he knew he wanted to go into business, and he knew, long before the term baby boom was a common phrase, that his friends were about to start having lots of babies. Everyone I talked to said they were going to go home, get married, have children, and live the American dream. So basically, a lot of the soldiers were talking about, we're going to go home and have a lot of sex, and he just kind of worded it differently, I think. I decided I would open a store in my father's bicycle repair shop. Instead of selling bikes, I would sell cribs, carriages, strollers, high chairs, everything for the baby. My instincts told me the timing was right. This guy looks crazy. There's a picture of him. Those instincts did not just help Lazarus capitalize on the baby boom, they helped originate Toys R Us. Once a retail juggernaut, the store dominated the entire toy industry and children's imaginations by driving its competitors out of existence. Say, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? I mean, you know. Let's see here. Lazarus opened his first store, Children's Bargain Town.
What?
In Washington, D.C. in 1948.
That sounds like a name for a Hooverville or something.
I want to be a Children's Bargain Town kid. Doesn't really work.
We're going down to Children's Bargain Town.
Specializing in baby goods, only began selling toys once Lazarus realized Customers did not come back for more strollers, high chairs, and other baby goods with their second child.
They recycled them.
How dare they? Should be a law against that.
Consume.
He started selling a few inexpensive toys and added to his inventory as they proved popular. Do you think he had other thoughts, like maybe I'll go into their homes, break the cribs? Do you think he considered that at any point? Not a serious contender, but just something that popped into his mind quickly. Or maybe like he would say it as a joke.
And then he'd stare at them.
I wish I could break your crib. Yeah, something like that.
Lazarus Cribs.
Lazarus Bargain Town. Can they come back with Children's Bargain Town? Maybe they can open that store can come back.
Yeah, but then people are only going to buy one stroller.
Lazarus was not content with a single store. He had an idea that was bigger than Children's Bargain Town, or any kid store he had ever seen. A massive store filled with every toy in existence.
Across the universe!
In 1948, how many toys existed? There's like blocks?
7?
What else did you have? A yo-yo?
Well, so they had G.I. Joes pretty soon after that, didn't they?
You had your Hitler doll that you, of course, break. Of course. Purposely.
You burn it.
In 1957, he got out of the baby furniture business, renamed his company Toys R Us. He created the first ever big box toy store. The new megastore took a supermarket-style approach to toy selling, which distinguished it from every other toy store in existence. Who wrote this? They keep saying this. They keep using this phrase.
Does he know what the toy stores were like on Zorb 7?
We don't know, yeah. Most toy stores were small and family-run. Oh, disgusting. A family-run store?
Ew, family toys.
And only carried a limited line of products. Lazarus' stores, on the other hand, were orders of magnitude larger than their competitors. This guy's a flair for the dramatic with his writing. And presented a smorgasbord of thousands of toys. This is an amazing article. Listen to this. This is from History.com, by the way. Big box stores like Toys R Us astonished the era's consumers, who had simply never seen stores that big and crammed with merchandise like this. The people were just like blown away, apparently. Like,
There's so many. There's 5 aisles, Ginny.
What?
5.
You can't go in that store. It's too astonishing.
The astonishing toy store.
People just would go and just drop to their knees, cry and weep. It's like a cathedral of, or something.
Bask in its glory, start speaking in tongues.
Yes. What Lazarus really captured was this sense of American abundance after the war, and after all those years of depression. So they're like, take that. Look at all we have. Look at all the waste.
Oh.
Look at all this worthless product we have here.
Hey, it's not worthless. It brings joy to small children.
Look at our plastic. Says Richard Gottlieb, founder of Global Toy Experts and an authority on the toy business.
Sure.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
You got to bring this guy in to save the company.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Richard Gottlieb.
Well, it's too late now, I guess.
Gottlieb sees Lazarus as part of a bigger wave of entrepreneurship that took hold in the post-war years. The modern American toy industry was really created by the Jewish soldiers coming back from the war, he says. Other Jewish industry superstars. Other Jewish industry superstars include Isaac Heller, who converted military surplus into toys for boys in the 50s.
Huh.
Elliot Handler, the founder of Mattel. Oh, my God.
Oh.
And Milton Levine, creator of the wildly popular Milton's Ant Farm, which was a hit with kids during the 50s and 60s. I thought you were going to say Milton Bradley.
Me too. Yeah.
But no, Milton's Ant Farm. Have you played that game?
No, it's an ant farm, not a game.
It's not a game. It's real ants.
Yeah, dude, I think so.
So this is the guy that decided to imprison ants and sell it.
Do you
Go
want
into his
ants?
yard.
Because this is how you get ants.
He had an ant problem, and he put them in a jar and he sold it to kids. All right. Lazarus's idea was deceptively simple. Build a supermarket for toys. While other toy shops had display cases and decorative interiors, Toys R Us had concrete or tile flooring. And rows of toys laid out next to each other. What does that have to do with anything?
I think to make it look more like a grocery store. Like, instead of being like a colorfully decorated,
carpet.
like...
I'm not shopping here.
Basically.
A filthy carpet. You have to vacuum that carpet? Well, my floor, I use a mop. Much better. The store's bare bones appearance didn't seem to matter to consumers. They were entranced by the toys within. People were just aroused by the toys.
I think what they're saying, I think the idea they were going for was making it so there's nothing exciting in the store itself. It's the toys alone that really...
The toys shine. I tell you what, man. I remember the 90s. They had a really nice layout in that store.
Oh, yeah.
The layout we had, they still have now, apparently. Yeah, it's okay. It is kind of like a supermarket.
I mean, back in the 90s, I remember when I got my Nintendo 64, when I got old Nintendo games and whatnot.
Yep.
The store felt like this massive, gigantic, wonderful place, which had everything.
But you think about it, though, when you're like 4 feet tall and you're a kid, those shelves are tall, man.
Oh,
you can't even see at the top. And there's toys everywhere. I mean, yeah, it was impressive. As a child, it's a very impressive store. The 1950s and 60s ushered in some of the most iconic toys of all time. Mr. Potato Head, Barbie, Easy Bake Oven. Then, as Japan rebuilt its economy, it began to produce inexpensive toys like tin robots and cars and stuffed animals. Lazarus purchased cheaply and in bulk. So he was buying all these toys made of lead in Japan after the war.
Oh.
Lazarus bought and sold so many toys that he was able to negotiate contracts to buy toys for cheaper than his competitors. This made Toys R Us into what retail historians recognize as the first category killer. A company so completely dominates its retail category that drives all of its competition out of business.
Another term for that, I think, is a natural monopoly?
Oh.
Something like that. Like, it's not like they cheated, they're just...
It's too powerful.
Yeah, they just do it so well that they just win.
Mom and pop stores buckled, unable to captivate children with the sheer promise of discovery offered by Toys R Us's large inventories. So the children would go to these other stores and just be disgusted, spit. The children would spit on the floor at these carpeted mom and pop disgusting toy stores.
And the carpets would absorb the saliva instead of making it easy to mop.
And like, look, it's stuck there, stained. It stained the carpet. The fabric was stained. And department stores, which had once relied heavily on seasonal toy sales, soon realized that Toys R Us had created a year-round demand they were not able to serve as effectively. Should I keep going with this? There's a lot. Let's see here. All right, well, we'll finish it off. The company had help. As television reached more and more households, Toys R Us benefited from advertising by toy manufacturers. Companies like Mattel can now market their newest offerings to kids directly, which fueled demand for the toys Lazarus stocked.
And it didn't cost Toys R Us anything for them to advertise toys. Other people did it.
They wanted you to, the companies wanted you to buy the toys. That's where they got the toys. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the Toys R Us commercials?
I don't want to grow up, 'cause if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
Well, now we're getting copyright strikes. Thank you.
From what? From
that's
whom?
true. They don't exist. Lazarus.
He's going to come back from
I feel like he's still.
no.
I feel like he's still alive, baby. Something's going on with this guy. Do you remember, as a child, the Toys R Us big book that would come out around Christmas time?
Yes.
I would look at it nonstop. You think about it. If I wanted to look at a picture of a Ninja Turtle in 1991, what would you look at? If the cartoon was not on TV at that specific time, and maybe you missed it because you were, had to go to the grocery store.
Oh my gosh! The only place to look at it would be the big book.
Exactly. So you just look through this thing nonstop. It's a Ninja Turtle. I like that. Look at it.
My gosh.
Yeah. TV helped consolidate Toys R Us as well. The store used its mascot, a lovable giraffe named Jeffrey, in TV spots for the company beginning in 1973. Soon he was a TV commercial staple, even acquiring a wife, Gigi, and children Junior and Baby G.
I don't remember those. I'm sorry, did I miss something?
When Jeffrey grew up. Yeah, I had 2 children. There's other mutant giraffes out there. In the early 1980s, the store's TV spots became even more iconic with a catchy jingle that featured self-identified Toys R Us kid who did not want to grow up. He self-identifies as a Toys R Us kid. That's his identification.
You could do worse.
That's what it was about?
What, the song?
That's what the commercial is about, this guy who identifies as a Toys R Us kid. That's who he is. He's
Okay.
nothing more, nothing less. Did you know that?
Sure. Not entirely. I thought it was just I just remember kids singing about it.
It was a proclamation from this boy. This is what I am. I don't know what you are, okay? This is what I do.
This is how I choose. This is not how I choose to live my life. This is how I must live my life.
You can judge me. You can take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. This is what I do.
Yeah.
I don't care if you reject my ways. They will continue, my friends. The company went public in 1978. It turned a $500 million toy industry in 1950 into one worth $12 billion in 1990.
Dang.
Well, you were already born at that point, so you probably get a lot of toys in 1990. You probably contributed to that. At the height of its power, Toys R Us sold 18,000 different toys in 1,450 locations around the globe, and controlled 25% of the world's toy market. During the store's heyday, it seemed like everyone was a Toys R Us kid.
I certainly wanted to be. I remember getting all sorts of good stuff there.
In 1994, Charles Lazarus stepped down as the company's CEO after nearly half-century of selling toys to enraptured children.
Oh, just a half century, huh?
This guy was amazing.
Yeah.
Toys R Us faced other challenges over the years, like the rise of e-commerce, changing toy tastes, a transfer to private hands in 2005. 2005, yeah, they got rid of all of us in 2004, at the end of 2004. It was part of this. It was part of this. Dan Liepes didn't agree with us when he was on the show, but I think it was part of it.
What, they were just trying to get rid of the old guard?
I think they got rid of yeah, I think so.
Huh.
It was the end of 2004. The company was sold in early 2005. I think they were just getting rid of like longtime employees.
Well, you heard what they said at the store, right?
What did they say?
About how they eventually got rid of anyone who was full time.
Oh shit! The manager guy told us that, right?
You didn't hear it from us.
All right, yeah. I guess they haven't had full-time employees. The guy told us in like really long time.
Some guy, not necessarily the manager.
Well, okay, whatever. It transferred to private hands in 2005 in a leveraged buyout that failed spectacularly. How come people use that term a lot now?
Failed spectacularly?
I see it all the time. Yeah. Where did this begin? I don't understand that.
I mean, I think it just is a way to make something that went wrong sound like it went really wrong.
Yeah, I see it all the time. It's really annoying.
Like the phrase dumpster fire.
The stars themselves became increasingly dated. But ultimately and ironically, Toys R Us became the casualty of the big box model it helped create. The original category killer was killed by big box stores that were even bigger and more powerful. The Lazarus' behemoth.
Even bigger and boxier.
Yeah. It was like a giant, bigger box falling on his somewhat large box.
Please stop saying box.
Worried about competition, you're disgusting. Worried about competition from Walmart and Amazon, executives began to winnow the number of toys the store carried and focus even more on slashing prices. But as Toys R Us dialed back its offerings, it cut back on the magic. Do you remember when people called the store? Do you know what you were supposed to say when you answered the phone?
Thank you for calling Toys R Us. This is the R Zone. How may I help you?
Oh, you didn't do the proper thing. Well, that's what we were supposed to say. So actually, you're correct.
Okay.
The people up front, like the customer service desk, they had to say, "Thanks for calling Toys R Us, where the magic begins. How may I assist you?"
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have to. You're right. We didn't have to say that though.
Yeah, everyone who reaches us had already heard that spiel.
We should have done it again. People were like, "I don't want your magic." When Toys R Us changed its focus from the toys themselves to undercutting the competition, you didn't get the elation anymore, says Gottlieb. They failed because they ceased to love toys. I don't think that's true, sir.
Wait, is Gottlieb still, like, around and kicking?
Gottlieb is a current toy... Where's this guy? Hold on. He's a current toy expert. Toy industry expert.
Dang, but
That's
this is the
his
same
job.
guy who founded the place?
No, Lazarus founded it.
Lazarus, you're right. Oh, never mind.
There's
Sorry.
several quotes from Gottlieb here.
Right, I remember
He is
now.
a current toy business expert.
Okay,
That
I'm
chimes
sorry.
in from time to time about toy issues that impact us all. But his quote, John, they failed because they ceased to love toys. Do you think that is true?
I
don't
think they
that's true.
failed because Walmart and Amazon exist.
Yeah, basically. Wow. It's a circle of life.
Yeah,
Do you
man.
think there's it sounds insane. Is there a point where Amazon goes out of business?
There's gotta be
We just read that 1990 was a $500 billion. Toys R Us. Imagine someone say, "Oh, they're going to go out of business." You'd be like, "No."
We'd think you're crazy, man. They're going to be
Blockbuster
around
Video.
forever, like Blockbuster.
So, I mean, this is how things go.
It's absurd. Like, you can never tell what's actually going to happen.
Yeah. I did find one thing that was interesting. This other article, I just wanted to poke through it and get your take on this.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of Toys R Us today. Whatever. I think it's fun.
Yeah, we like to play around.
There's a couple little things. This thing had actually like a time chart. What do you call that? It had like a year, and then has a thing that happened. A time graph.
Let's just go with a chart.
Time chart.
Sure.
Where the hell is it? Okay. In 1969,
Timeline.
Toys R Us adopts Jeffrey the Giraffe as its brand mascot. Previously, I did not know this, John. Previously, a more professional cartoon giraffe appears in its ads. His name was Dr. Giraffe.
What?
Dr.
What?
Yeah. They started Jeffrey the Giraffe in 1969, but there was a previous mascot that this freaking beautiful bastard Lazarus created. This madman of toys and wonder who decided to open a shop of cribs because he knew his friends were having a lot of sex. The mascot was Dr. G. Raff. R-A-F-F-E.
Let me guess, he was a pediatrician, and he's the one who delivered all them babies.
Oh. Yeah, that was the original
Wait, no,
mascot.
pediatricians deal with the babies. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Did you know this? Dr. G. Raff. Can we look
No, I've never heard of Dr. G. Raff.
There's a couple other things here. 1983, the first Kids R Us clothing store opened.
1984, the first Kids R Us clothing store closed.
They closed in 2000. Well, actually, I think it's on here. 2003, Toys closes all Kids R Us stores. That's when we were working there. They were actually next door to our store. I stole a shopping cart from them, and we broke many of their other carts by throwing them across the parking lot. Anyway,
What do you mean, we, white bread?
Oh, OJ was involved in it.
I was too scared to do anything fun.
1996, the first Babies R Us opened. 1998, Walmart beats Toys R Us for the title of top U.S. store seller for the first time. So that was the beginning of the end. 20 years
what year?
ago.
1998?
Yep. And here's some stupid things they did. 2001, Toys R Us Times Square, touted as the largest toy store in the world, opens in Manhattan with a 3-story Ferris wheel and a 20-foot-high animatronic T-Rex. Maybe not the best investment.
Oh my gosh, what's going to happen there?
Oh, that's been closed for years.
Really?
Yeah.
When did that close?
Like 5 years ago.
I thought... Oh.
2001. This is all stuff when I was there, man. All this stuff. 2001, the company purchases the 190-acre American Cyanamide corporate campus in Wayne, New Jersey, for $36 million and relocates its headquarters there in 2003. That was One Jeffrey Way, I think.
Yeah, you are correct.
Where we went to, yeah. That's where me and Kevin went. We tried to steal the sign. It was a fortress. Go back and listen to that show if you haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty funny stuff, actually.
All right, 2009, the company buys eToys.com and Toys.com, as well as toy retailer KB Toys and FAO Schwartz.
Yeah, FAO Schwartz made me really sad because that place was big but had the magic, you know?
And KB Toys made me sad because I was actually working there, and they closed the store I was working in.
Oh, yeah, that's...
So that was another place I worked. For a brief period of time. I was only there for maybe 4 months. Then they closed. You saw me there, remember?
Yeah, I went and visited you once.
Oh, appreciate that. I was gonna be, you know what's weird? Something I regret.
What?
I never visited you in college ever.
Oh,
Isn't
it would
that
have been
weird?
nice to have you. Yeah, it's okay though. It's a long drive.
It's a sad thing because this is totally off topic here. I guess it's kind of on topic. But I was thinking about because you were there for this Toys R Us reunion. Obviously, I knew you in high school before then.
Yeah.
If there was like a Street Fighter community Danbury reunion, you could also be part of that. If there, right? Because you were part of that in some sense.
Yeah, I played with folks.
If there was like a, I don't know. Well, obviously anything with the show or any of this kind of stuff, you're part of that. So whenever I travel, OJ is part of that. Isn't that interesting? OJ is there in some capacity for all things that I was ever involved in.
It's just because I stalk you. I mean,
but I feel like I was there for you, but except for college, I have no reference point. I never went. I should have gone to see you there. So it was a sad situation.
It's okay. I mean, I would have liked to know your how your memories of visiting me stack up with my memories of the place, but
I can never be part of OJ's college reunion. I guess I could show up, but it wouldn't really make sense.
I mean,
I can't be part of that.
Oh my gosh, it would be so awkward. I could be like, yeah, like you could go as my date, but that would be a little.
All right, let's not go there. It's
okay.
In 2015, the Times Square flagship and landmark FAO Schwartz store on Fifth Avenue closed. That was 2015, the Times Square. The company cites high rent rates as the reason. No, it's mismanaged.
To be fair, though, rent there is absurd.
Oh, it's probably insane. 2017, Toys R Us hires a law firm that specializes in corporate restructuring. 2018, Toys R Us files documents with bankruptcy court indicating plans to close 182 stores. And then 2018 again, Toys R Us tells employees it will liquidate and close or sell any of its roughly 800 stores. And that's it.
But it said it won't or will? Will.
Where have you been for the last hour?
I didn't hear what year you said
Charles
it
Lazarus
was.
is back? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I just didn't hear what year you were talking about.
No, it was 2018, yeah. That's it.
Okay. Wow.
So say goodbye, man. Say goodbye. It was a nice tribute I think we did here on the program. But how do you feel about it? Feel good about it?
I'm sad, man. I mean, I remember getting so many of like my favorite toys I'd get there.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I got my, what's the word I'm looking for? My Nintendo 64. That's where someone got me an air hockey table that didn't work, so I returned it for Castlevania 3 and another video game.
And dude, and that's where I met a lot of cool people and some crazy people, and I got so many stories.
Well, we say goodbye.
Goodbye, Toys R Us. I will miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Served us well.
Yeah.
Now we discard it. That's how it goes.
America.
If you want to go back and work, let me know.
No.
I feel like I could get you to go if I really wanted you to.
I honestly don't know what the legality is with, like, I think my job...
Are you allowed?
I think I could, but I'd have to prove that it wouldn't interfere with my current position.
If it was on a weekend day, how could they say no?
Yeah, they could, unless I was so exhausted that I couldn't actually do my job.
You have like a special contract with your company that will prevent you from like doing certain things like that.
I think I could totally do it, but I'd rather not.
Well, extra cash, come on. All right.
I mean, dude, if I'm going to spend a weekend working with you, let's make something crazy.
We'll just pretend that we did it. We should have just came on the show and said we all worked there for a week.
Oh man, we should just green screen it.
I think here's what would happen though. Okay, if we all decide we're all going to work there again, right? We'd be trying to relive like these memories or create weird new memories, and like someone would be arrested because we'd like just go too far. Either we would like redo things we did in the past, which would just be lame.
Yeah.
Or we try to do something that's like over, like beats out everything, then someone would be arrested.
I mean, the stuff you can pull when you're a teenager or in your early 20s, you can't pull anymore.
Well, then you're just sad at that. You're doing that in your 30s. You're just like, it's not cute anymore. It's just gross, right?
You've described my life.
All right, so let's get into this, man. So. Feeling good here? Keep pushing on.
Okay.
All right. So OJ and I are members of Marvel Unlimited. We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone into many awesome events in the past. So this was a few months ago, actually, before the Show 200. I just didn't mention it on the show. It was jam-packed with information, that show. We no room for it. We got an email around the time that Black Panther was coming out from Marvel Unlimited. I said the first 10 people to respond to this email get tickets to an early screening of Black Panther in New York. The greatest city in the world. I'm just throwing that in there.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Okay, sure. And I responded, like, basically my job, I get emails from people, and I have to respond to what they say and do what they want, right? So I'm pretty much always on the email during work hours, and I was able to do this very quickly. And I got 2 tickets to an early screening of Black Panther. I think it was a Wednesday night, and the movie came out on a Friday.
Yep.
And I got 2 tickets. Of course, young OJ here, throw him a ticket. So if I ever want him to work at Toys R Us with me 15 years later, he'll do it because I gave him a ticket.
Wait, what?
But it was very interesting, man, because it was like, all right, you got the tickets. It had like instructions. Please do not tell anyone this exists. Do not say anything on social media.
Yeah.
Don't even, just say nothing about it. When you get to the theater, you go to the second floor. You look for like this guy. There's 2 names, Chris and something else. Or I don't know if Chris was one of them. Just throwing that in there. And then if you can't find them, call this phone number. Here's the guy's phone number, and he'll give you the tickets. He'll bring you to the theater. So it's just really like, what is this going to be? Like, what is this? This is weird sounding, right? Then I'm thinking like crazy things because I know I saw on like one of the websites that the cast was doing a Q&A or something on like live on Twitter. Yeah. It was kind of around the same time of night that like the screening was going to be at. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be what we're going to. It was not that.
No.
But it was still cool because we got to go in early. 10, was it 10 people with a guest? 20 people that got into the early screening. And what this turns out to be, because we're talking to the dude who gives us the tickets. I think I had you call him and he didn't answer, and then we found him anyway.
We found him like right after you had me call him. I'm like, dang it, he's right there.
Yeah. Basically, it's a screening for Marvel employees. And they had decided to throw a bone to a couple of the Marvel Unlimited members. You know? So, we're in this theater. What theater is that anyway? Does it matter to say? I don't think people care.
I don't know.
We're not supposed to tell you, anyone?
I honestly don't know.
We just use GPS. You don't know where anything is.
Yeah, right.
So basically it's all the Marvel employees in theater, and then there's like me and OJ and some random people. And it's weird because the guy does like a speech before the movie plays, right? And he's like, all right, I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank like Judy in accounting, and everyone starts clapping. Like random people that work in the company, like everyone's just like going nuts, and we're just like, "What's huh?"
Yeah, like Judy, woo!
So it was a lot of fun doing the Black Panther. Do you have anything to say about that?
About the experience? It was great. We actually started getting like our own little routine going because it seems like every time we go over to that theater, we stop over and get crepes beforehand, which is just kind of nice. Like
it's
crepes,
Lincoln Center. Is that where we go?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We go there, we get crepes, and then we go see a kick butt movie or show or something.
But anyway, we don't have to do dive deep on Black Panther. Obviously, it's great. I'm sure everyone saw it. I saw it twice in the theater. I own it now. I've seen it a number of times. Everyone's talked about it. It's good times.
I do want to say though, are you the person who pointed this out to me about the film?
How do you not know if it's something I said or not?
Because I think it's something you said because it's really smart, but I'm not sure if it's the smart thing you said.
Please.
That it's a movie where the main character actually learns from the villain. Like the villain makes a point that they, shouldn't necessarily hide themselves away. Granted, he wants to go war on everybody, which is not cool. But like, you see what I'm saying? I
did not say that, but it is very accurate.
Yeah, that's why I thought you might have said it.
Is this another podcast that you're on?
No.
The Black Panther podcast with OJ?
No.
Okay.
What?
Michael B. Jordan and OJ have a podcast together where they.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. That would be so cool.
I couldn't fault you for that. Anyway.
Meanwhile, back at the plot.
Okay, so now. This was Black Panther. Of course, Infinity War is coming out. Back in my mind, I'm like, are they going to do a screening for Infinity War? Is it going to happen? Getting a little nervous about it.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you. I
need to see this 2 days before it comes out. How could I wait 2 days?
This is life or death.
But I was very excited about Infinity War anyway. Work one day, and I did happen to get the invite. First 10 people to respond to this email get tickets to Infinity War.
I want to point out that I reply within like the first 2 to 7 minutes, and I haven't gotten in on any of these two.
Yeah, this one I knew I got because I did it within 2 seconds. It was unbelievable. I was like actually looking at the email at the time. I was like looking at it different, just popped in, boom. Within 2 or 3 seconds, I had it done. So basically, I got in again. Same deal, same theater. Don't tell anyone what's happening. We go up to the floor. Like we don't even have to call the guy. I know the guy's face now. He knows my face. He's looking at me like, "What's going on here? Like, are you cheating? You're cheating us."
Oh,
there's they had comics for free. He's like, "Take 3." I took like 7.
Yeah, that.
But anyway, it was the Marvel employees. We know some of them now. We know Judy in accounting. We know several other people. The janitorial staff we know. I did notice though, because remember, he's like, we want to thank certain people, and he's like, we want to thank Stan Lee, and the people went nuts. He's like their Jesus, the Marvel employees. They went crazy.
I mean, I'd go crazy, Stan Lee.
They went like extra crazy.
Oh, okay, extra.
He's like their god for the Marvel employees.
Extra.
Anyway, I think I've seen a lot of movies in the theaters, man. I saw Cliffhanger in the theater.
I still haven't seen it.
Don't ever watch it.
Oh, fair enough.
I saw Ace Ventura 2 in the theater, which parodies Cliffhanger.
Okay.
I saw The Phantom Menace. Let's leave it at that.
I was just waiting for you to say, which, of course, as we all know, closely resembles the plot of Cliffhanger.
Oh, we're still doing Cliffhanger.
Okay,
which is actually not as good as Cliffhanger. Unbelievably.
But I've seen that one.
All right, anyway. This might have been the greatest movie experience of my life.
Wow. I'm glad that I got to share it with you. You shared it with me.
It was just incredible. I just kept, we were watching this thing, and OJ's next. I just kept looking at OJ, and then, saying, just, oh my God, you believe it? What? Huh? What now? What? And just throughout, was I annoying you doing this or what?
No. I was just I don't want to reply because movie, but this is crazy.
We just constantly look at each other oh, can you believe what I just saw? And then what was going through my head, I didn't tell anyone this. Something that was going through my head was what if I die before the movie ends?
No.
That's what I was so afraid. I was like, what if I have a heart attack now? Or what if...
Oh, John.
No, because I was enjoying it so much that I was like, what if I have terrible... What if I have terrible diarrhea suddenly? Or I have a seizure? I was like, please don't. I was like, please, anything could happen to me. Just let me finish this movie. Because I was enjoying it so much.
Anything could happen. You're just enjoying it so much. You just want to be able to finish.
Yeah. I was like, please don't take this away from me. I love this so much.
Oh.
But it was a great time. Obviously, the crowd was super hot.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I should mention about Black Panther. So, I saw Black Panther twice in the theater. The first time was with the Marvel employees. Obviously, people were going insane. There was a woman behind us that would laugh so hard at certain parts of the movie that when I watch it now at home, and there's no one home but me, and I watch it, I will hear her laughter in my head at certain parts of the movie. Because she was having such a great time with Black Panther. Then I saw Black Panther a month after it was out.
Yeah.
In a theater, and so I saw it in New York with Marvel employees. Then a month later, I saw it in Connecticut in a small town. A month after it's been out, with very casual people that you could tell they never saw before, but that maybe were all right, fine, I'll go. I keep hearing about it. And just the way that people reacted to things was very different. It was very interesting. That's all I'll say about it.
Okay.
I don't remember specific instances.
Yeah.
But just certain parts where I remember this lady's I'm like, oh, she's gonna start yelling and laughing. Nothing. No reaction. Very, very interesting. But anyway, back to Infinity War. Fantastic movie. Unbelievable that it even exists.
Yeah, seriously.
They did what we always hoped they would, and we knew they could do it. Because it's done in comics. It's kind of a similar medium in a lot of ways. It's a visual medium.
Yep.
Why can't you do it here? If you can do it there. They just had to get the people with the cash to believe in that as well. Now they do, and they're making cash.
Yeah, and they're even doing other superhero movies, rated R ones are actually succeeding. So people will put the cash in those now too.
It's a wonderful world we live in here. So an interesting tidbit, on the way to watch Infinity War at the screening, in the train I watched Iron Man 1, or about half of it, because it's a long movie. Short train ride. So I saw the first hour of Iron Man 1, and what hit me is how I don't know how much of this they planned. It seems like they planned a good amount of stuff, or how much of it was accident. But the way the characters developed over the 10 years, it's wonderful stuff. So in Iron Man 1, when he has to put the suit on,
yeah.
Do you remember he has to stand in a spot, and all these machines come and attach to him, and it takes 5 minutes. But at the time, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So they could have very easily at that time had him push a button and the whole suit pops on him. You know what I mean?
No, they saved it.
Yeah. So now that's what he does. And now he just it just grows on him or whatever it is.
It's definitely nanomachines, dude.
10 years. So that's wonderful stuff. That's beautiful stuff that I love. The progression technology progresses, the characters progress. We were talking a lot about, like, after this movie was over, we were just, like, walking through the city, just, like, going nuts, talking about, like, what they're going to do and, like, different things.
Yeah, we were freaking out, man.
Yeah, we were, like, lit up. But it looked like Thor. I watched, like, Thor 1 recently, and he's literally a god. He's, like, a perfect god, right? He's got the blonde hair. He's, like, perfect looking. Everything he does is great.
Yeah.
And now he's just like this just broken, tragic character. Like his whole cast was killed. He's no one, his brother, his parents, everyone. Everything's taken from him.
They killed Chuck, man.
He's blinded. I mean, they just broke him. They broke down Thor. They broke down the god to nothingness. And then he built, and that scene when he comes back, that scene when he goes to Wakanda in this movie, people just explode, like the people just cheer. And in both times I saw the movie that happened.
Yeah.
People just explode. But it's just great, man. The second time I saw it in IMAX. And it was sold out. It was like 2 weeks after it came out. And I got tickets, but it was actually sold out in IMAX. And same kind of thing. When he comes to Wakanda, and he's got Rocket and Groot with him, people just go nuts. It's an explosion.
It was a powerful moment.
Yeah. So when I saw it in the IMAX, watched the whole movie, then I went to went to credits, and they trained the audience so well because no one gets up. Like everyone knows, like something's coming, and like the entire sold out theater, no one gets up. But I'm like, all right, well, I gotta get somewhere. Like I already know what's gonna happen. I already saw the movie, so I'm the only person that decides to leave, and we're in like a middle row. So I start, get up and I start like walking through everyone, and this girl, I'm walking by her. She goes, "No, don't go. There's more coming. There's more coming. Don't go."
It's so nice that they're sticking to you. They're trying to help you. Yeah.
Because people were so dialed into it. They were like, no, don't go. You're depriving yourself of this great moment. Whatever it's going to be, So I wanted to just turn around and be like, I already know the Fantastic Four come out. Something like that. But
that would have blown their minds.
Yeah. But I was like, no, I'm sorry. I have to leave.
They would have been angry at you first for spoiling it?
I was like, I have to go. Enjoy it. That's all I said. But,
that's nice of you. That's a proper response.
But I just imagine this girl like going home and talking about the movie to someone, and then be like, "There's this one guy that left, and he missed the whole ending."
They'd be like, that's such a stupid guy.
Yeah, this one idiot left way before the movie was over.
I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't do it. I hope he's okay. He must have really had to go somewhere.
I tried to tell him. The ending where everyone vanishes, I was like, wow, this is powerful stuff.
Spoiler alert.
Well, it's been out for like 2 months now. When they took out Black Panther and Spider-Man, I was like, all right. Because I think they've already announced movies, the sequels at least for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right, well, you're showing your hand here.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming back. And I saw some people complain about that, like, oh, it's cheap because it's just going to be reversed and whatever, but I don't know. I think a lot of times it's not so much what happens, it's how things happen.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's going to happen, but how is it going to happen?
And you can't tell me exactly. No one knows exactly how it's going to happen. And that could be done in a really amazing way. And why wouldn't you want them to come back?
I mean, yeah, like, we actually have I love this Spider-Man. He is so cool.
You want them to kill Spider-Man just so they could say they did it? Like, look how brave we are. We killed him.
They're going to leave, like, Bucky dead and be like, there, look, we're so edgy.
Is that what the story needs? Just so you can say they did something like that?
No.
But yeah, I mean, the movie elevated so many characters. Like, Gamora is now an incredible top-level character, in my opinion. Like if she comes back, think about that. She was like one of the main top 3 characters, I would say, the movie, right?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was badass. The stuff he was doing, that was really cool. And now you set up Hawkeye to be like freaking Jesus in the next movie.
Why? I mean,
how do they do this?
Honestly,
it's amazing.
a couple of my friends, this really ticked me off, actually. I know who said this. We were talking about the movies, like, yeah, well, Hawkeye wasn't in this one. I'm like, yeah, I know. I can't wait for him to be in the next one. He's like, he's probably not going to be in the next one. I'm like, why? Of course he's going to be in the next one. No, he's under house arrest. He's not going to show up. I'm like, no, dude, they're totally going to put him in. They just didn't want to, burn everything in the first movie.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's already been filmed and he was there, so it's...
No, he's not going to be in it. He's not going to have an important role. He's just not going to be in the movie. I'm like, well, I think that he's going to be. Well, I guess you're more optimistic than me. I'm like, how are you sad right now?
But yeah, man, it's like amazing that he could potentially be like the savior Hawkeye. It's great.
Why would he be the savior, though? Just because he's not dead?
Well, there's only certain people, they held off on him for a reason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It
would make more sense if Tony is like the savior.
Well,
but he already pulled that once.
I guess we should get into just a little predictions because just so we can go back in a year and be like, look what I said. But what I told you is after the movie, I was like, all right, well, the Soul Stone is obviously very important. There's weirdness to it. They show that whole thing, that whole planet. Red Skull is there. Obviously, they're going back to that bridge. There's something with that bridge where you could trade a soul for another one. Also, there's the thing that Cap kept saying in the whole movie throughout, where it's like we don't trade one life for another. That was a theme of the movie where it came up maybe 2-3 times.
Yeah, they just ended up trading lots of lives for.
So
nothing.
I think it's going to be something where. Also, there's the whole thing where, Doctor Strange. There's 10 billion outcomes. One of them we win. He decides to give Thanos the Time Stone, preventing Tony Stark's death. So Tony and Cap have to be alive in the end. And I think it's going to be something where Cap sacrifices himself to bring everyone back at that bridge where the Red Skull's there. And I think everyone will come back, including Gamora. Something like that. What do you have to say?
I could see that. Because then they're setting up Falcon to be the new Captain America, and then I think that could.
Tony and Pep are gonna have a kid. He's gonna retire.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be more of in an advisory role.
He'll show up once in a while.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't know what else to say to it, but
if they do exactly that, I'd be thrilled with it. But I'm sure it's gonna be something different and maybe something better. That's what it feels like. It feels like Dragon Ball Z style, where the villain
they have to go get the Dragon Balls now.
The villain beat everybody, and then still can't win, which makes them kind of sympathetic, in my opinion. But
oh my gosh! But seriously, dude, they have to go gather the stones.
Yep.
The 6 stones together to bring everyone back to life.
Well, that's what someone said. Well, if you destroy the stones, it looks like the stones all blew up. The gauntlet blew up. Maybe they reappear somewhere else.
And there's still another gauntlet on the Forge World.
Yeah.
Yeah. The what Thanos's is a left hand. Oh. No. His gauntlet was a left hand. There was a right hand on the Forge World.
But he was great, man. Josh Brolin, holy crap, he was awesome. Some of the lines that he says stick in my mind.
Dude, they did a much better job of not making him a straight up the worst villain ever. They basically made him a really awesome villain. He was bad. He thought he was doing the right thing. I mean, I guess doubling the resources of everything wasn't something he could do with infinite power, but hey.
Well, dude, they never really explained what you can do with the gauntlet. I mean, and anytime he could change reality. I mean, it's very difficult. I don't like that reality altering stuff. And
ooh, not a Scarlet Witch fan, huh?
She doesn't really do that in the movie, though. She just moves things around.
She's basically like Jean Grey with some extra unknown.
Anyway, you just gotta kind of accept it for what it is. They didn't really explain what you can and cannot do. But it doesn't matter. What was I gonna say? The Captain Marvel movie I think is very important. If that's not successful or people don't like it, it could kind of mess this thing up because obviously she might be the savior person.
Yeah,
so people really dislike the movie, and you're like, oh, I don't want her. She could be the Iron Fist.
That makes me sad. But is the Captain Marvel movie it takes place in the past, right?
It takes place in the 90s, so Nick Fury knows her because he was there.
So are we gonna have like Samuel L. Jackson playing a young Samuel L. Jackson?
He's supposed to play a non-eye patch version, so he's 2 eyes. He's supposed to have young Coulson.
Which unages Samuel L. Jackson by like 20 years.
Just take the eye patch away and look exactly the same. And they'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
he's much younger.
No, and you're like, wow, look how young you look. And like, oh, he's not grizzled. That's just how he is.
But I'm excited for the Captain Marvel movie. The last thing I want to say about it is Age of Ultron. Looking back at it, a lot of people kind of rip it, but it set up everything. Like, it set up Black Panther. Set up Civil War, obviously. Set up this movie, or set up Ragnarok, because where Thor goes into space. Hulk goes into space. So that was kind of like a real setup movie. You just didn't know it at the time. It just seemed like, what is this?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Marvel's like, trust us. Just give us a little bit. This is going to pay off, you guys.
Ultron himself wasn't great, but, no, yeah. It set up it was a setup movie. We got a little bit of time left here. I did see Deadpool.
Yay, I did too.
Deadpool 2. I went to see it opening weekend on a Saturday night. I tried to go. What we used to do is when you went to the movies, you show up early, then you buy a ticket, and then you go into the theater early and you sit down. You can't do that anymore, friends. Obviously, I'm sure you all know this. Because I got there and it was sold out, but there's no one there. You're like, what? They're like, oh yeah, everyone buys the tickets online. And then, let's try the showing in 2 hours from now. And then you go to like the map and like all the good seats are taken, reserved. So, reward bad behavior now. You can just,
Not just that, it costs an extra $1.
While you're driving and texting, you can reserve your seat and show up late to the movie and get a great seat.
I bet you can have Google Duplex buy your tickets for you.
Most likely.
Or something like that.
But yeah, I went a couple days later. I did love the movie quite a bit. I thought it was as good, if not better, than the first one. There's weird plot stuff in it. Do you want to talk first? Go ahead.
Well, I want to say the thing I love about the movie is that I think this is the most reference-deep Marvel movie about a Marvel character there is, because, I mean, on the surface, haha, silly stuff, but if you actually remember stuff from the comics, there is so much more. Like, there's so many, like, one-liners that don't make sense. Like, for example, Deadpool's love interest, what's her name? Whatever, says, don't come in here if you smell like, I don't want like you coming in here when you smell like death. Uh-huh. And you're like,
oh, shit.
And you don't think about it. And then someone pointed it out to me. I'm like, in the comics, Deadpool is in love with death.
He marries death.
Yeah. So like, if you understand the comics, basically, it's don't come in here if you smell like that other woman, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff, and I love that. I love that they play in the X-Men world, because like they very very easily could have just ignored that.
Yeah.
But they definitely go all in, and it feels X-Men-y, in a great way.
Yeah.
Like what character are they going to pull out from X-Men? Like, it has that kind of feel to it.
Wait, what I didn't
Black
get,
Tom Cassidy, people.
Like, what the? Really? Like, it took me so long to try and remember who he is. Wasn't he like Banshee's like nemesis or something?
Yeah, he was always with Juggernaut. He was Juggernaut's buddy.
Yeah, which explains a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, they pulled him out. They pulled out Longshot's son.
Yeah. Dazzler and Longshot's son.
Well, they I don't know if that's I know that he was like cloned from Longshot in some way. But like, I was looking at the thing on his face.
I thought he was Dazzler and Longshot's kid from Mojo World.
I know he was from Mojo World. I think he was
he
like,
wasn't really in it though.
The quote was they took Longshot's genetic material. Whatever. Moving on. I got a kick out of like seeing all these characters pop out. At first, when I saw the kid, I'm like, oh, he likes fire. He's gonna be Australian. It's gonna be pirate. No, he's from New Zealand instead.
Yeah.
Okay, but like,
I thought Domino was cool.
Yeah, Domino is one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Some
like,
people talked about like
awesome.
changing her around, but it's like, I don't feel like Domino is this classic character that you can't. Like, is Domino really like this? Oh my god, Domino! You can't.
I'll admit,
that.
At first when I saw her, I'm like, who's this character and where's Domino? Then I saw the patch and I just went, oh. Now instead of being like a porcelain doll with a dark colored patch, they like inverted the colors or whatever. but like she was one of the best characters in the movie. The way her power worked was just hilarious. Like it really brought a lot. And whoever was playing her did a really good job. Like of just being like, if everything went right for you always, all the time, like how else would you act?
Yeah. Obviously Juggernaut was awesome.
Yeah, and you caught the name of the institute, right?
Oh, was this Mr. Sinister's place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of...
So, Cable was great. Josh Brolin again.
Yeah, they pulled like a Terminator 2 thing, sort of.
Yeah, he was almost like a parody of himself in a lot of ways. Like, even when he would call him like John Connor, he called him Winter Soldier because he's got the metal arm.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he was good. I thought he was obviously great straight man. That scene where, oh my god, that scene where he's got the kid, like the lower half of Deadpool's body is like the kid body on the couch, and everyone's in the room, Cable's in the room. People in the theater were just like going like crazy, dude. People were crying, they were laughing. It was like a classic scene. People were like just losing their minds. Everything they said was people just screaming, laughter. The thing that messed me up with the plot, like, so the whole movie's based around his girlfriend gets killed, and then he's very depressed. He wants to kill himself. Like, that's like basically the whole plot of the movie. He goes to prison just to die.
Yeah.
So then you introduce a character who could time travel. So I'm thinking, all right, he's going to want to try to like find Cable, and then you get his time traveling abilities to go back and save. But that's never like a plot point. Like he does do it in the post credits scene.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
But it was just weirding me out. Like, why doesn't he never like put this together? Right? You know what I mean? Did you think of that at all?
Yeah, like he could.
It was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the post credits scene seemed weird to me. It was almost like kind of tying everything up, like almost like Disney's coming in and maybe this is the end. So let's just throw together like a little montage of like everything's cool now, like the girlfriend's alive. He went back and fixed like did the X-Men Origins Wolverine thing was nuts. Didn't expect that.
Oh yeah, the Ryan Reynolds bit.
Yeah, with the Green Lantern. So I wonder if that's what that. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
So even if they make another one and it's not the same, this was the director and the writers saying, This is the canon ending, you guys.
Maybe, yeah. Everything's cool. Everything's good, and
if Disney's gonna poop on everything, and turn it into a big money grab. I mean, like they did with Star Wars. But anyway, yeah. At least we'll know everything went happily ever after. Because seriously, they are the most stable relationship out of like anything I've seen in a superhero movie ever. More than Lois Lane and Clark Kent, more than Vision and Scarlet Witch, more than Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Man and
nice job with this, right?
Yeah, this is a relationship that, for being weird and insane, is built on mutual trust and emotional support for these two people. They understand each other. It's perfect.
Right. So that was that. Yeah, man. I guess we'll hold off on some of this other stuff.
Okay.
Terrence P. Murphy, we'll hold off on him till next time.
Oh, he can stick around.
No. We want to give him the proper time. We can't just.
No, I meant he can stick around until we're ready to talk about him.
I do want to mention, since we're talking about this comic book stuff, I've read Action Comics number 1000 came out. I read that around the time that Infinity War came out, so it was like all this Marvel loving going on, and reading this Superman stories. Character that's been around so long, and I was just kind of thinking about stuff like this book. They show the best traits of the character, and they show the character in the best light possible. It's obviously people that love the character, and I think that's the problem with the DC movies. They kind of decided like their characters aren't good for some reason, and we have to, whatever they want to call it, modernize them or update them or something.
Them pretty.
And they're missing they missed out on like the meat of the characters, you know. Their characters are good enough, and you have
they're hopeful.
You have a well of stories to draw from that you could put forth, and you'll have successful franchises. And I think they kind of missed the boat. with that. I feel like what Marvel does is they break down the characters and they word like what is the best traits of this character, and they pull from the past stories, and there you go. It's plug and play, my friends. That's what they got to do. Their characters are great. DC characters are great. Let them be great.
Yeah.
Okay? There you go.
Don't poop on them.
It's gonna wrap us up here, man. I think that's it.
All right. That was fun. I hope everybody listening is had a good time.
Well, we have to remind the good people. What's the date we decide? In 2 weeks?
June 14th. It is a Thursday.
June 14th, a participant, a short film, comes into the world. Be nice to him.
I still thought it was, I thought it was called Participant. I was missing a syllable the entire time.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's completely, It's called Iron Man 4. Get a lot more viewers that way.
No. Just call it Blockchain.
There you go. So please check it out, friends. We're going to be back with the show next month. Get back on track with this. Apologize for not being around.
Yeah,
Hope you guys are all doing great.
Yeah, we missed you. I hope you missed us too.
And we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon. OJ,
Cheers.
Now feel free to wrap it up. There you go.
Oh, well, everybody, thank you very much for listening in. I will catch you, we will catch you, they will catch you next time when you least expect it.
This has been a presentation of StayBallsy.com. I apologize for what you may have witnessed and wish you a speedy recovery. Just remember, stay ballsy. Don't take any shit from anyone.